Okay, if you are absent or need a refresh on how to calculate electricity cost, this will take you through it. So, electricity is charged by the kilowatt hour, all right? Note that it is said kilowatt hour and not kilowatt per hour. That does help with the calculation, all right? And a kilowatt hour is a unit related to energy that comes from the power it takes to do that energy, okay? So there are a few steps to calculating this. First step is to convert energy to kilowatt hours. You must find the power used by that energy. All right, for everybody, it's going to be the energy it takes to get your roller coaster to the very top height on your roller coaster. So from 0 meters to however high your roller coaster is. Okay? So that's the first step, to find power. Second step is once we have power, it's going to be some maybe millions or thousands of watts, and we need to take those watts and convert to kilowatts. So this is just like gram to kilogram. There's 1,000 watts to 1 kilowatt. All right, so if you have 50,000 watts, to go to kilowatts, you divide by 1,000, and that would give you 50 kilowatts. Okay? Next thing, and I'm actually going to say this is steps 3 and 4, all right, is you're going to find and then multiply the number of hours that this energy is used over. Okay, so that relates to how many times the roller coaster has to go up to the top per day and how long that takes, right? So in order to help make this more sense, we're going to go through a sample problem. So let's calculate the kilowatt hours of this roller coaster. We have our mass, we have the height, all right? And one more thing I'm going to say is that it takes 40 seconds for the roller coaster to go from the very bottom up to the top, all right? So those are the things that you need to know at a minimum to be able to find the first step to find our power, okay? So I'm going to shrink that down a little bit so we remember our information. But step 1 is to find the power, okay? We did this as a warm-up in class, and I'll just show you guys in the video. Find power. All right, so you can do this 2 ways. You can find work and then divide by the time, or you can just use the power equation that is set up with work already being figured out in it. All right, so our equation is going to be P equals FD over T. All right, now one thing to remember, we know that our mass is 4,800 kilograms. To make mass into a force, we have to convert that to the force of gravity, which is mass times gravity. So our force is going to be equal to 4,800 times 10, or F equals 48,000 newtons, all right? So when we plug in our numbers, we'll have 48,000 times 100 over 40, all right? And that will simplify to 4,800,000 joules divided by 40 seconds, or 120,000 watts. All right, so that's step 1. Step 2, convert to kilowatts. All right, so we take our 120,000 watts divide by 1,000. And that would be 120 kilowatts. All right. So I'm going to scroll up a little. So now we are on to step 3. And that is to find total time per day. All right, so we know that it takes 40 seconds for one roller coaster, which I'm going to abbreviate RC from now. But think about it. Does a roller coaster only go once per day? No, it goes a ton of times. All right. So this is something that you'll have to probably do a little bit of research on, but just so that we can work through the problem. Now we're going to say that the roller coaster goes one time every 2 minutes. So from here we got to think about how many times that's going to happen in a day. So let's start a little smaller than that. If it happens once every 2 minutes, how many times will it happen in, say, an hour? Okay, this would be 30 roller coasters going per hour. And then let's say the park is open for 12 hours. All right, it's probably a minimum for most amusement parks. So the park is open 12 hours. So that means we're going to be doing this 30 roller coasters per hour over 12 hours. So if we multiply those together, we get 360 roller coasters per day. All right. Now, that just tells us how many times the roller coaster is going to go each day. But we want to know the total time it's going to take, so the total time that we're actually using this power. So finally, you're going to take your 360 and multiply it by 40 seconds, which gives you 14,400 seconds of power usage. Okay? Unfortunately, we're still not done, because what is the unit? Kilowatt seconds or kilowatt hours? So we need to sit there and reduce this to the number of hours that this happens over. All right, so the easiest way to do that is to go one step at a time. How many seconds are in 1 minute? Hopefully you are saying 60. So we take the 14,400 and divide by 60, which gives us 240 minutes. All right, and then to get to hours, we take our 240 minutes and divide by 60 again and get 4 hours. Okay? All right, now we are down to our last step. 4 is to combine our kilowatts and our hours into kilowatt hours. All right, so think about those units. You know, force distance. Force times distance gives us Newton times meters. All right, same thing here. We've got kilowatt hours. So we take those two numbers and we multiply them together. So we're going to have the 120 kilowatts times our 4 hours, which is going to give us 480 kilowatt hour. Okay? So watch through this a few times. Recognize that your numbers will not match mine. All right, you're going to have different masses, you're going to have different heights. You may say that the roller coaster happens a different number of times. Maybe your park will be open more hours, I don't know. Okay? But if you go through step by step the same process, you can apply this to your roller coaster. Okay? Now, my last question to you is, 480, is that money? Hopefully you are saying no. So now you just have to research how much a kilowatt hour costs. All right, some useful websites possibly. There are two major electric companies out here, APS and SRP. Use one of them, try to figure out how much a kilowatt costs. All right.